Hey, Ryan.
God damn. I think this is the third time that's happened. You say it as I'm drinking something.
I did. Oh, no.
Shit. I'm leaving it in there just so everybody knows. Every fucking time.
It's not intentional.
I don't believe it anymore.
It's just meant to be that way. It's just meant to be. The sparkle in your eye was very exciting, though. It was totally worth it.
Hi.
Hi. How you been feeling with this beautiful weather?
Alive.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So shiny and new?
I feel like a human.
Like there are possibilities?
Evan, if he listens to this, he's going to be like, oh, good. Glad he's okay.
Thanks for the concern.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way to reach out.
Yeah.
It's important to reach out to people who you're concerned about.
Via you.
Right.
On speakerphone with him.
Yeah.
Not with me directly.
Right. Is Ryan okay?
Yeah.
He doesn't sound like he's okay. Seasonal affective disorder is totally a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was total hooey until I moved here.
Woo woo hooey.
Yeah.
I was just about ready to buy you a UV lamp, like a sun lamp.
Well, you still might because it's going to be cloudy again next week.
And it will hit you even harder because you got this taste of sunshine.
Yeah. We got a week and a half of summer. I know I've said this to you. We've got a week and a half of summer, and then it's back to, like, cold weather. Mm-hmm. It's fucking bullshit.
To make you mad.
What is wrong with this state?
Well,
and why are we here?
You make great points for us leaving this place. But before we do so, maybe we could use the power of our vote and encourage Oregon to control the weather.
Oh, cool. I love it when I get an opportunity to use the God voice.
I try to give you enough content so you have to do as little editing as possible.
Keep trying.
Control the weather.
Nice. No, I have to edit quite a bit of this, usually. The people don't even know. You don't even know.
No.
That'll be my episode. The episode that I host
Yeah.
will just be about, like, the inner workings of this show.
I would
and the
love
work
that.
that goes into it.
I would love that. How many times you just have to take out all the sounds coming from my side?
Yeah.
So sorry.
No, don't be. It's fun.
It is, right? We have fun.
Oh, yeah, we have fun.
We have fun. And we'd have more fun in the sun.
Yes.
That's right, folks.
100%.
We're talking about
weather modification.
You're a goddamn professional. That was nice work.
Thank you.
Oh, you don't even know.
We did just go to a podcast conference, so I've got professionalism on my mind.
Yeah, that was really awesome, by the way.
Is this our first episode since we went to that?
Yes.
Shit.
It's been the first episode that we've recorded since we've done that. I think we released one maybe.
After.
Yeah.
That
maybe.
was so cool.
But it was very cool. I hope, because we got to meet a lot of people and share our show with lots of folks. So hopefully they're listening. And if you are, thank you. It was really nice meeting everybody. Pat, who put it all on, who we got to meet. Super cool dude.
Everybody.
Yeah. Like all the speakers that they had was great.
And the fact that it was attendee led was really cool.
Yeah.
It made me feel like I was getting a little taste of a life that I have going on inside my head all the time.
What do you mean?
Like a life where like we just get to be podcast hosts
Oh, yeah.
and just learn about stuff all the time
Yeah.
and hang out. You
Yeah.
know, live the utopian dream.
Right.
And we got to spend a day, like we chose to spend a day doing that.
Yeah, that was very cool.
That was really cool. Yeah.
So-
Relationship goals.
Relationship with the show
Yeah.
or with each other.
With each other. Yeah.
We do that anyway. We
Yeah.
don't need a conference to do that. I mean, those exist, but
That's
we
true.
don't need them.
No, we don't need a relationship problem. But I like that we're in the kind of relationship where we chose to do that.
Uh-huh.
That was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's this. Weather modification. What if you could make it so it just like never rained here all the time? Would you still live here?
If I can make it so it never rained here? No, I like the rain. I just don't like the rain 11 and a half months of the year.
It's too much, right?
Yeah.
And other places need it more, like fucking California.
Yeah, except this year was weird because they got snow
So
and
weird.
rain and everything.
And everything.
But like just, there's a happy balance with that kind of thing. Just like there's a happy balance with sun and heat.
Mm-hmm.
I would like there to be a little bit more balance here.
Yeah. That would be ideal.
It would be very cool because I understand the reason why it's so green and beautiful here is because of the rain. But like, fuck, it does not need to make me so sad all the time.
So sad. It has been really nice watching you kind of come alive
Yeah.
over the last 2 weeks.
It's felt nice being
Yeah.
alive.
Like the ice shell melting from around you.
Yeah. So weather modification is the topic?
Is the topic.
Meaning like that Gerard Butler movie where they have a satellite that
Geostorm?
Yeah, that's the one.
I never did see that, but I do know that is a film that's about
What happened to him, by the way?
I
Sorry,
know.
early tangent, but fucking Gerard Butler.
He went the way of Liam Neeson. Is what he did, and Russell Crowe for that matter.
You think?
Yeah,
How so?
just like they went from being like kind of serious actiony stars to then kind of like hammy stars. They did a couple of hammy roles.
Like John Hamm?
Yeah.
John Hammy?
Yeah.
Serious and sweaty?
So sweaty. And then you're like, is he funny? Or do I feel bad for him?
John Hamm is hilarious.
Yeah, he is.
I feel like Liam Neeson is not. I know we're talking about Gerard Butler, but you mentioned Liam Neeson. I think Gerard Butler is probably like cool to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Yeah.
not necessarily funny.
Kind of overwhelming. Like he would take up a lot of conversation space.
Seems like he has a hearty laugh.
Totally.
Like if you were funny hanging out with Gerard Butler, you would feel extra funny.
Yeah. Because he would make it sound like it was
Right.
extra funny.
Yeah, like if you're in a restaurant, you'd be like, is that Gerard Butler laughing?
Is Liam Neeson not as funny because he always looks like he's a little nervous about something? Like he's a little worried? Like he looks like one of those
Shifty.
dogs, those like greyhound dogs?
Always on alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But tired of it. He's weary.
Yeah.
He's weary of the panic.
He just wants to relax.
He's over it.
Can't wait for retirement.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So
like that
anyway.
movie. It's like that movie. Well, fucking like weather shit in general has always fascinated me. Like did you have like a local meteorologist on your local news channel that was famous?
Not kidding. Just thinking about this because I was listening to Stuff You Should Know. I'm going to bleep that out. And they were doing their episode on weather people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like the weatherman and how that all came to be. And it reminded me of the weather lady in our area where we grew up. She was like it was Sacramento.
Yeah.
The news station, the NBC news station in Sacramento. And my dad had like the hugest crush on the weather lady.
'Cause she's like this little wizard, you know?
Yeah.
Like, trust me. Here's
Yeah.
what it's going to be. I'm going to tell you how it is.
I can't even remember her name, but I think it was like Michelle something.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe
Michelle
like
Huffman.
Michelle Buckman.
Yep. It was always something, man.
Something like that.
Ours was Dave Hovde.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember Dallas Raines?
No, but
He was in
that's
the
amazing.
he was the LA guy. The LA weather guy.
Dallas Raines.
He was fucking born for that job.
Really? Well, because they always are, right?
Yeah.
They're a crazy profession. And like it's such a weird one because it's this fascinating combination to me of showmanship and science.
Yeah.
It's like Bill Nye.
Yeah.
And it's part of our news cycle. Like it's just part of what we take in. And like everyone's like, yep, science. Yeah, we're all just going to trust that one. What? You know, like to me, especially in light of like post-pandemic, like what is science? What doctors do we trust? You know,
Sure, yeah.
People suddenly becoming experts in fields that they've never heard of before.
Because they know how to Google something.
Because they know how to Google something. But we're always going to trust Michelle Buckman.
I
or
want
Dave
that to be your
Hovde.
name. I hope it is.
I hope it is too. You're really good at that game. So that's a thing. Do you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
Like weather meteorology and weather prediction in general has like just been one of those things where if they're wrong, fuck them, they're idiots. You
Yeah.
know? They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And if they're right, of course they're right.
Yeah.
It's the weather.
Yeah.
We trust the weather. The weather, we expect to look at the weather and that to be the weather.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh fuck. There was a comedian, and I said this joke to people before. This comedian had a really funny joke about it. And every time I say it to somebody, it never comes across as funny.
I want you to go for it now.
Shit. Well, so I'll just give you like the bones of it.
Perfect.
He was saying how like weather people have such a bad gig because of that. You know, like if they get it right, it's great. You know, like they're geniuses. But if they get it wrong, everybody hates them. And the weather person is all like, I'm trying to tell the future. You know?
Yes.
It's such it's an unfair gig.
It's the most unfair gig because it's like peak society. The weather person operates at whatever society is cool with at that moment. Because it's like, how much do we trust science? And how much are we just like agreeing to trust science as a society, you know, all at once? And like we put so much on it. Like we plan our sports events around it. We plan our like parades and like ceremonial things, our weddings, like all our celebrations, how we get to work, you know, like what we're able to do at work. Construction shit gets put on hold, like all kinds of stuff. Like we just go by what the weather's going to say.
Yeah.
So like you'd think a lot of research is getting put into controlling that shit. Because then it's not just like inconvenient. It's also like hurricanes, you know?
Yeah. Wait, so when you say control and the topic is weather modification, are you saying like that there are ways, or are they developing ways? They meaning like scientists and stuff.
Right.
They're actually coming up with ways to control it, to change it?
Absolutely. And have been doing so for at least the last 60, if not 80 years.
What?
Yeah. So since the 1940s-ish, the U.S. And, of course, subsequently China and Russia, a lot of other smaller nations, like Australia even, have all developed weather modification branches of their government.
What does that entail, really?
I'll tell you. At its basic form, it's about controlling the rain and precipitation, where it falls, when it falls, how much of it's going to fall. And what they figured out was, you know Kurt Vonnegut,
Yeah.
the author?
Yeah.
So
he wrote a really good book called Pygmy.
Among a couple others.
I'm pretty sure that was Kurt Vonnegut.
That's Kurt Vonnegut.
It is?
I don't know if that one was. Was it?
I'm going to look it up. Sorry, everybody.
Good to look up.
Oh, who wrote Pygmy?
Pygmy?
Yeah, like the type of tribe or whatever.
Oh.
No, that was Chuck Palahniuk.
Yeah.
I get those two confused. I'll edit that out so I don't sound like an
Understandable.
idiot.
Hey, so you know Kurt Vonnegut, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what did he do Fahrenheit 451? Is that him? Who did that one?
That's Kurt Vonnegut,
That is?
right?
Oh,
God,
man.
we are illiterate fucks. Hold on. Hold on. Nope. That's Ray Bradbury.
Oh, shit. What did he write? What do I know that name for?
Oh, shit. What did Kurt Vonnegut write?
I guess the answer is no. I do not know Kurt Vonnegut.
Out this whole lead-in. Turns out neither of us know who Kurt Vonnegut is.
You know what? I'm leaving this all in.
Wait.
That's the charm of this show.
Slaughterhouse 5.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I ever even read that one. Oh, man. God, that's fucking funny. Oh, yeah. So you've heard of Kurt Vonnegut, right?
Just now.
So he had a brother who was a scientist.
Oh, damn.
And his scientist brother was totally famous for helping.
Being Kurt Vonnegut's brother?
No, in his own right, for helping to develop the first weather modification techniques. No joke. And oh my God. Yeah. So weather modification at its like most like basic, like when scientists talk about it, they're usually talking about something called cloud seeding.
Okay.
Like seeds, like in a garden.
Right.
Cloud seeding. And it's all about trying to get the rain to fall where you want it to. So, like, let's say, like China, for example, in 2008, when they had the Olympics in Beijing,
Yeah.
they were like, we don't want the rain to be falling on our opening ceremonies because we're spending a shit ton of money to make Beijing look amazing. We want the weather to be perfect. So how can we control where the rain's going to fall before it hits this area? Because Beijing is in northern China where it's usually pretty dry, but this was going to be during their wet season. So they knew there was going to be rain.
Uh-huh.
And they threw millions and millions of dollars at this technology, which was cloud seeding, and they were able to make it so there was no rain in that area by making the rain fall in other areas.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
But how did they know that it was going to rain there at all?
Well, that's where like meteorology comes into play, right? Because through using weather mapping systems that we use to predict the weather, right? Like when we say like, oh, a hurricane's coming in, like you've seen like that map, like that's like fast forwarded through time and like it's all swirling around over the top. So they're using statistics to basically plot those things on graphs and then put those graph visuals over a map so we can like use statistical models to predict where things are going to go, like air pressure wise and stuff. And using that information, they go, okay, we're going to put something in the cloud that's going to make all the moisture particles condense around that shit, and then it'll make rain fall early. Usually it takes a lot of stuff in the air or a lot of pressure or weird things happening for rain to fall, right? But if you introduce something in there, like a little catalyst or a seed in this case, the moisture will like glob itself onto the seed and then make a raindrop, or if it's cold enough, snow. And you can make it happen early in areas where you want it to happen.
Oh, okay.
Like, let's say there's a drought area. There's still like moisture in the air. It's just not enough for it to condense into rain.
Right.
You could shoot with cannons or flares, or have planes fly by and like release clouds of it. Crystal stuff like salts, or the most common one is silver iodine, and it's in like a crystalline structure, this chemical, and the water just globs onto it, and then it just goes.
Those are the
clouds.
seeds.
Those are the seeds.
Okay.
Yeah. And they'll release huge amounts of it. And they'll like literally shoot them in there with cannons and stuff. Just hitting the clouds with them.
Cool.
Yeah, it is
I
pretty
get that
cool.
job.
Well, so the weird part is they've been doing this for decades now, right? And like it's been as benign as like, let's just try to get more clouds going over Texas in this drought area in the 70s. To let's try to flood out areas of the Ho Chi Minh Trail during the Vietnam War.
What?
Which totally happened.
What?
And is considered to be the first successful use of weather modification in warfare.
Weaponized weather?
Weaponized weather.
Geostorm.
Exactly. Orbiter.
Fuck.
Pretty gnarly, to the point where the UN developed a commission basically saying, y'all can't be developing geostorms, motherfuckers. But you best believe that hasn't stopped nobody from doing just benign research, right?
Yeah.
Not for war, just to see how we could do it. Yeah.
Was that was the US that did that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
That's pretty wild, right?
That's so wild.
Super duper wild. So yeah, there's like commissions now, international and national, that are trying to like have legislation to either expand the experiments being done or to restrict them, because it's so like it's potentially disastrous, right?
Yeah.
Because you've heard chaos theory, right?
Is that the thing that Jeff Goldblum's character talks about in Jurassic Park?
Yeah, exactly.
Anything you ever ask me, do you know about this? It's always something that I saw on The Simpsons or in a movie. That's what I'm realizing by doing this.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
You're not an idiot. You're not at all an idiot. You know all kinds of things. Your frames of references are very specific. Well, with chaos theory, right, it's like the idea that one of the ideas is that like tiny little things set off all kinds of other random things, right?
Yeah, like when the example they use is like if you take a time machine and step on a bug.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Like, Ashton Kutcher butterfly effect.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. That kind of shit. And with this, it's like one false nudge of a hurricane over the Atlantic, and now there's a hurricane that's 5 times huger than it would have been, and it's destroying the eastern seaboard and disrupting trade for months to come, and causing a huge meltdown, all because you wanted to have an experiment, just to see, just to see.
Yeah.
just try it. I don't know. Speaking of, it's already happening where areas are and like cities, places where people live are getting devastated as a result of weather modification experiments.
Where? Where are they doing
Dubai.
Oh, for real?
And Saudi
it's
Arabia.
so dry there?
It's so fucking dry, and they have so much money they can just throw at it, literally. They are throwing
All their old pennies.
all their old penny and just seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
So they've been doing cloud seeding there, and they've lots of news agencies, not just Dubai news agencies, reported that they've created about 50 artificial storms.
What?
Yeah, in areas where there's usually no rainfall.
And so there's no infrastructure to like
Right.
prepare for those kinds
So
of
these
things.
places are getting like flooded out and
Yeah.
devastated in ways that they are completely unprepared for.
Wait, so why would they even do that though?
Because it's dry as fuck there.
But I
And-
mean, like, if you're a scientist, and you're like, hey, should we try this? Mm-hmm. Maybe we should try it in an area that can be not devastated by it.
well,
You know what I mean? Like, they're
yes.
smart enough to know how to do it, but they're not smart enough to think about the aftermath of it.
I mean, using my very limited knowledge of Saudi Arabia, but my bias towards them, I would imagine it's twofold. One, there isn't enough solid research to show that shit's even working, and it's not just random chance and climate change causing these random acts of weather
Well,
that
it
are
technically is climate change because they are changing it.
well, yeah. And some would say that like climate change is one form of weather modification because it is long-term effect of human involvement
sure, yeah.
on the weather and on the environment.
Totally.
Yeah. And it's like just because it's not intentional doesn't mean it's not weather modification, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's kind of a vibe too. But it's that's a whole other thing is like people are like, well, is this going to have all these environmental impacts, like throwing all these random pollutants into the clouds to create like a false nuclei for all the water droplets to form? Like, what happens then to all the silver iodine? Like,
Yeah.
you know, or the salts that are in there? Like, does it just evaporate? So, like, what's happening in Saudi Arabia, like, there just isn't enough concrete research, even though all this money is being thrown at it. Like, it's just confusing. And weather shit in general is getting so unpredictable now with climate change that it is really hard to have accurate data
Yeah.
to base these experiments off of. And you can do whatever the fuck you want to the people out there.
Well, what do you mean?
Like, no one cares. That's what the people that are running the governments out there are seeing. Like
Like the people in charge don't
Yeah,
care.
yeah, yeah.
Because the people who are getting devastated by it probably care.
oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Of course. Yeah. Like, they care. But, like, the people who are doing the experiments don't care about those people. They're making
Got it.
so much money.
Yeah.
Like, the potential payoff of having a tool like that developed, like, would put Lockheed Martin to shame. If you
Right.
could wipe out the crops for your enemy,
Yeah.
like, for their bread basket,
Fucking Geostorm.
fucking Geostorm,
Let's watch
man.
that movie after this.
If you could day after tomorrow those sons of bitches, game over, right?
Jake Gyllenhaal won't be around to save the day.
No. You can shoot down a nuke, but you can't shoot down the geostorm, man.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do. So there's a lot of money to be had in developing this stuff. And there's still a lot of questions if it's even actually doing anything or if it's just chance and weird stuff happening with the weather.
Yeah, I didn't consider that because, well, I didn't consider that all of the kind of wild weather patterns that are a result of the long-term climate change
Yeah.
things. Yeah, it must be hard to kind of know what you're looking at as far as
Yeah.
research goes.
Yeah, and then you add in like all the pollutants and stuff that we've introduced it like into the ocean. There was one scientist that was proposing covering areas of the ocean in like this oil, this UV reflective oil to reduce evaporation because that's part of what causes hurricanes.
Like the thing that you put over a swimming pool
Uh-huh.
over the entire ocean.
Yeah. So you're talking about like the Exxon Valdez oil spill? It's like, yeah. But then it would like help with storms and stuff.
Did that guy get fired
Yeah.
after that?
Everybody looked at him And then they went back to talking to each other. Yeah.
All right, Gary.
This
Quiet
fucking
now.
guy. Some other ideas have been talking about how to blast apart weather patterns. So we're talking about like making weather, like making rain, right? Like how do you stop a hurricane or like lightning storms and stuff, right? So that research is being done right now as well too. The cloud seeding has always been the biggest stuff, but these are other weather modification experiments. So shooting lasers at lightning storms.
Freaking laser beam?
Freaking laser beams at lightning storms,
Hell
my
yeah.
dude. So that's pretty exciting to like discharge the lightning. Pouring liquid nitrogen into the sea to cool it down. To reduce hurricanes, like the heat energy that's necessary to get hurricanes going.
Yeah.
So that's fucking nuts.
How about we just stop doing all the shit that's hurting the planet? Why don't we do that?
I love this one. Creating soot, like what comes out of coal mines and stuff, to absorb sunlight and change the air temperature to create convection currents in the outer walls of hurricanes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Wow. Who is there like a governing body for this kind of thing? Like on a global scale?
On a global scale, like the UN has a
weather department.
They have an they have an environmental modification convention that was established in the 70s. And like, the UN is what it is. Like having worked very briefly with the UN myself as a teenager.
So they really got their act together is what you're saying.
They are
hiring teenagers.
They're doing their best, They're doing their best with what they have. No, it's hard because kind of like the weather thing in general, on a fundamental sense, we all have to agree that the UN has any power at all, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't.
Right.
They don't.
It's just it's a mutual agreement with all of its
that
members.
We're all going to behave.
Yeah.
We're going to decide this is how humanity behaves.
Yeah.
And we're not going to fuck with each other's weather. So far, we haven't been able to do that, which is a problem. And on a like a domestic level, the NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Oh, I think our mutual friend Alden, his dad works for
No
NOAA.
shit. Really?
I think so.
That feels kind of right to me.
He's like a rock star amongst science nerds.
That'd be so fucking cool if that's true.
I think it is.
Man.
I'll ask him before I do the final edit of this to make sure that it's okay to say it.
to unmask him?
Yeah.
Shit.
But because he was telling me a story about how somebody was like, somehow his last name came up. And he goes, "Oh, do you know so-and-so?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's my dad."
Because he's famous in
And Alden was like,
the meteorological society.
I didn't even know that he was just my dad.
Fuck. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be... I gotta do some research.
I think it's for Noah. I'll double check.
Interesting. You think they have the same last name? Well, yeah, because that's what you just said. But like...
So that organization is worldwide? Or is it just the United States?
NOAA is the United States, yeah.
Okay.
It is, the National Oceanographic. But like a lot of U.S. things, their work is really well funded and really well respected. And so they are used as a global standard for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And they've definitely kept a lot of records about different weather modification projects that have been done by the U.S. And yeah, truly, some of them are like fucking hostile. And some of them seem really benign. Like, how can we make it so the hail isn't so crazy in Atlanta, every El Nino,
Nebraska's hail.
Yeah.
We'll talk about hail.
Some of that can be like life-threatening, right?
Yeah.
But, so that'd be a good idea. But part of that also is like them shooting rockets into areas over like civilian areas where people
Right.
live.
Yeah. You have to think about all of the possible good that can come of something like that, as much as you have to consider the possible bad.
Right.
It's like a 1-for-1 kind of deal. It seems like with everything.
It's very
Truly.
Taoist of you.
What does that mean?
Like the Taoist religion is like all about balance and like causal effect of doing a thing and having a direct effect. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
It's very Keanu to be very Taoist.
Oh, tight.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with you being cool with that. Yeah. It's one of those things where like there's probably a lot more than we know
Yeah.
going on,
Yeah.
because there always is. But it's one of those things that easily goes into conspiracy theory land,
Sure.
because that's like, it's chemtrails, right? Like that's chemical engineering. Like
Yeah.
people are,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like, well, yes. But no, but yes, you know? So like with anything, trust but verify, water it down.
Yeah. Are there any like interesting articles or anything out there that people can look at to read more about?
I definitely recommend going to the NOAA website. Like, what's kind of cool about meteorology and a lot of the sciences in general is they tend to stay pretty nonpartisan.
Oh, that's good.
So they're just like, yeah, man, this is how weather modification works.
Yeah.
And they're just cool to share it with you and excited to get more people knowing about it. However, the departments that fund those particular pages are incentivized to make it sound like that shit works. And truly,
Sure.
the science is out on that. Like the results are pretty inconclusive with a lot of these technologies. But it is very interesting, and it would be interesting to think about what kind of world we would live in if that power were to be obtained
Right.
in any real way.
Do you think, or is this a thing yet, that they're using satellites for that kind of stuff? Because all the examples that you've given so far were like from the ground up. But, like, not to keep talking about this stupid movie that I've never even seen, but in that movie, I think they use satellites to change the weather from space.
Yep. That has been talked about as well. Having satellites with lasers mounted onto them.
Yeah.
So like attacking weather patterns from above.
Right.
Or having satellites with like mirror technology.
Yeah.
Or structures so that they could have reflection, stuff. Fucking reflection stuff, friend.
Like a magnifying glass on ants.
Yeah, exactly. That's been discussed. Having like wind turbines, like offshore wind turbines, like stirring shit up. And you could control like the directions of things potentially that way.
So that isn't inconceivable, really.
No. Yeah. And probably is kind of maybe already being done. Yeah.
Is that the conspiracy part?
It starts, well, yeah. It starts always kind of going into that. And it's like with UFOs, like there's like so much stuff that gets declassified that is just so wild that it's being declassified that you have to like look at the fact that it is coming from the Pentagon. Like it's actually like it's on the Pentagon's website, right? Like there's only so much like, nah, that's just from someone. No. It's on the Pentagon website.
It says .gov.
It says fucking, that's what I mean. That's what I mean, where when it says .gov and you're like, but it's coming from them. Like they're showing the crazy shit.
Right.
And the fact that no one's reacting to that shit, the .gov shit, not the YouTube shit, the .gov shit.
That should be a new catchphrase.
This
is .gov shit.
This is .gov shit. Because listen, like, I'm not a spiritual person. right?
Uh-huh.
I'm not. I'm not a woo individual.
You're really not.
I'm not.
I look way more woo compared to you.
You are more woo compared to me.
Like way more.
I know. You were. Yeah. Yeah.
I never thought of myself as that either.
No, you're super spiritual.
Yeah. Who knew?
And I'm super not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like science.
So do I. I'm just too stupid. I don't know it.
Want to make wish, then science say okay. And I like the other stuff. It's cool, but when I can make science make sense of it for me,
Yeah.
I like that better
Yeah.
personally. And when it's got the .gov, then to me that's science saying, "Yep."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I absolutely do. They rubber stamped that shit approved.
They approved it.
Yeah.
And the fact that I can look at that stuff and everyone else can look at that stuff and go, okay, and then just keep going to Costco,
Right, yeah.
makes me feel like there's a lot more shit that's being tested and that we know about, that they're just like, it doesn't matter. They don't care,
Yeah.
Just keep doing what we're doing. If something comes out, it comes out,
Yeah.
But if they don't care about this, whatever,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I do. That's pretty interesting. I also remember vividly asking last episode, can we please do something that doesn't bum me out? So here's for hoping for next time.
More sunny days in your future.
Oh, yeah.
And life might be out there.
Was there anything else?
No, that's it. We're just gonna keep advancing as a species as best we can. And as Timothée Chalamet once said, Shalamala Ding Dong once said, life is coming from you, not at you.
Did he really say that?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So just take one day at a time, guys.
All right.
Stand in the sunshine while you can.
Cool. I am going to take this opportunity to shout out our number one fan, Paul.
Yeah.
Because he gave us another idea, and he's earned it because of the Patreon.
Oh, an
Yeah.
episode idea?
Yeah.
All right.
So maybe next time. I think I know what this idea is.
Oh,
so
dear.
I'll come into the episode kind of already knowing it, but obviously I'm going to leave the research to you.
Yeah.
So I know that one won't bum me out.
I'm excited to hear about
So
it.
extra shout out to Paul.
Hell yeah, Paul. I appreciate you. And your hard-earned freedom dollars will get you hard-earned this.
You're welcome, everybody.
You're so welcome.
Cool. Thanks, kid.
Yeah, now you know. Bye.
Bye.